Alright, so we're back with another round here for the FX Open. Who is in the rear with the gear tournament? We are going to have dtay versus Munkey PVT on Lost Temple. This is another round one match. I am, of course, unstable, joined here by Sif from the 2bh.org forums, the clan that is hosting this event. How you going, Sif?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm excited to see this matchup, and I'm going to straight off the bat say I hope Protoss wins due to the fact I'm a Protoss player myself, so a bit of bias coming in there. But we do have dtay spawning at 12, and then Monkey spawning at 2 on LT. What are your thoughts about the matchup in this round?
Well, it's going to be hard for dtay to actually stop any kind of drop play if Monkey does decide to go for that. Looks like both these guys are players from the SEA server. But dtay, I've seen quite a lot of his play. He's a pretty smart player, knows what he's doing. Unfortunately, I haven't seen much of Monkey, so really it's going to be up in the air. But I can definitely say that the Protoss needs to worry about any kind of drop play.
Yeah, definitely, especially with that position.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see something like that. But these positions do tend to lead themselves in PvT to more of a macro game as well. Because it's just expansion after expansion for both players. The only real contention is just dtay really has to watch out for those drops. If he can do that effectively, I can see him taking this game.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, if it goes to the mid to late game, obviously, Protoss has the advantage of being able to map control this one really well. One thing I haven't seen much in LT recently, which is kind of strange, is the use of the SC1 tactics, which is get a medivac, put 2 tanks in, and start ledging people's bases. So I would like to see, just 1 tank, maybe 2 tanks ledged on, several expansions if, dtay does decide to go for the natural rather than what Protoss used to do, which is having, or being forced into going to open expansions or the top high ground expansions, like the main bases or the main spawning points. So, if it does get to the point where we do see expansions instead of single base aggression, I would like to see Monkey maybe do that. I think more turn players could learn from that. But also I think, that, as you said yourself, the drops, especially with these map position or even some Banshee play, due to the fact there's a very short distance there to get across, could be very effective, especially if dtay doesn't go for a robo build rather than instead opting for like a 4-gate or something.
Yeah, definitely, but I can think dtay is going to be prepared for that. He's putting his pylon, just putting 1 pylon there to see any kind of drop. I can see him placing more around here and up here just to see if that comes before it becomes any of an issue. But we do have a tech lab going down on that first barracks. There is only 1 Marine, but he's going to be able to stop those scout of the Pro pretty easily. It's going to be safe to throw down these extra tech structures without fear of being scouted. But we do have a second gateway going down now as the Cyber Core is about to finish for dtay. He does have his second gas, so it's going to come down to do we see another gateway or do we see a robotics facility as soon as this finishes? Because this
Yeah, definitely.
SCV is still in the mix there. There is no Stalker coming out for dtay. Here it is now to get rid of that scout. He probably doesn't want to drop any tech structures until that scout's gone, just to keep him in the mo.
Small thing to note there as well. One of the things I've noticed, like a lot of top tier players do, and this is advice for anyone that's watching and playing the tournament today. Make sure if you've got you're a Protoss player or if you're a Terran player, you can actually rally your production facility, whether it be a gateway or a barracks or whatever, onto the scouting harvester, and it just means it's a little bit less micro intensive for you. So as soon as your fighting unit pops out, it will be able to take out that scout without you having to think about it. So it means that when you're doing your build, you don't have to waste any concentration. Oh, just to cut that off, we actually do have the 2-gate Stalker Rush build here. So it looks like dtay actually dropped a couple of drones there to start macro producing Stalkers to go for really early harassment, early pressure. I like this build due to the fact that, I mean, we've got a 3-racks here coming from Monkey, but it has no kind of block at the moment, so Stalkers could be used very effectively. So just wondering, what are your thoughts? Do you think that'll be useful if he gets these Stalkers out, like the 5 Stalkers in 5 minutes, as we can see?
It will. I can see it being effective, but we are about 50 seconds away from Sturm being researched for Monkey. He also has a couple of Marauders mixed in with his army composition at the time. It's really going to come down to control here, as I think dtay's actually supply blocked himself as well. But no, he's gone for that fast expansion. No, oh my god, this is going to be painful for him, especially since these units, he's going to see this many. He has to think a 3 racks is coming. If I was him, I would definitely be cancelling that expansion, dropping down 2 more gateways to try and be able to deal with this amount of units as they are coming across the map. dtay does see it coming, as he does have the Zelnaga tower. We do have four Marines,
Yeah, completely outgunned at the moment. The army definitely favors the Terran player. Sim going down though. Marauders and Marines chasing down the sentry. Force field is not going to be an option. dtay quite smartly cancelling that Nexus because he's afraid it's going to be taken down. But we have the Stalker going down to the 4 Marines and 2 Marauders, but the 2 Zealots have been warped in now. They're absolute meat shields. They'll be able to take any punishment while the Stalkers can work on the Marauders. Pulling drones now. dtay is moving them in. Probes, and he's got them attacking the Marine and Marauder line. 1 Stalk left though. These probes are going to drop like flies, and it's going to do a lot of economic damage. We're now seeing him down to 23 drones, probes. 1 Marauder left though, which gets taken down quite easily, but it manages to snipe the last Stalk as well. So really good exchange there. Really good exchange there for Munkey, who also manages in that kind of little foray to drop down an expansion at his main. So he's making his second CSA, which I don't dare say he would warp into an orbital command and do double mule before he decides to float that away. So we now have an Observer coming. It's being chrono boosted, so I think, you know, it's a bit late for an Observer in this point of the game. Like, we know that a 3-Rex has come out. I think dtay would be quite safe to hold back from that Observer to start off with and go straight into maybe a Colossus tech due to the fact that he knows there's been a lot of Marine and Marauders. So if it was me playing, honestly, you'd just go, and I'm not playing as good as these guys, but you know, just warping a couple of Zealots and then going straight for Colossus tech without having to worry about that Observer would be really good. I don't think there's any threat of a tech change there due to the fact that Monkey's you know, burst attack was really effective. What are your thoughts on the current state of play on Stable?
Well, I think it's actually worked out fairly even. Like, dtay did lose a lot of those pros, but he's getting that expansion up extremely quickly. It's going to come down, can he defend himself from this next push that's coming? I like the fact that Munkey didn't overcommit to that push. He didn't send all his Marines and kept streaming and didn't cut SCVs. He is transferring probes now. Oh, I think it's a little bit too early to be transferring SCVs because there are going to be a bit of downtime there while that command center floats open, but he is going to come across here and he does take that watchtower. Oh, we do have quite a few sentries though, and we do have the Observer with the army mix. He needs to get a few more Zealots. Hopefully he can get a couple more. He needs an Immortal in there too, probably. He's still only on these 2 gateways, so if he can hold this off, it's going to come down to great force field placement, and he's definitely going to need that Guardian Shield. And here comes the stim. He does stim. He's going nice control by dtay, trying to waste as much time with that stim as possible, as he is losing a few Zealots now though. He will be able to
look at that
shortly. Oh my god, this pylon is going to go down.
That's amazing, Mike. Oh.
Yeah, great control by both players. The stim has run out, and here comes no second stim. Great force field. Oh my god, he's stuck half the army in the front. Great cut up by dtay. He's really tearing this unit to shreds with just sentries and stalkers. Going great control by both players so far.
Yeah, it just goes to show that the Protoss fast expand, now that the Koreans kind of figured out that, you know, the sentry heavy build, it works really well. Force field is not to be underrated in this matchup. It's almost as key as it is in the PvZ. I think, you know, a lot of players underestimate sentries and use the force field only to block their ramp, but it's really important to get, you know, a massive sentry so you can completely wall off, you know, any kind of strafing from or kiting from a Marine Marauder army, and that actually lets you to do one of 2 things. You can either mass produce Zealots and have them, you know, charge in and do a lot of melee damage because the units can't flee, or you can go for your Stalkers and have the sentries sitting in front, which is what we saw here. So they force field off, the sentries get in front, and they kind of take any, you know, damage because they're not as effective as DPS as the Stalkers, and the Stalkers can actually just, you know, lobby off shots and then, you know, punish any army. But I really do like here dtay's army composition. He's gone for the 3-gate robo build. He's managed to get a couple of Immortals out, and they're so devastating against a Marauder heavy army, which we're kind of seeing here from Munkey. I guess the counter from Munkey would have to be a Ghost Academy if, you know, we see more Immortals coming into play. But we're just opting here for a simple MMM. What are your thoughts on the different compositions there?
I think Munkey really needs to get some dropships into his mix. He does have them there. Like, dtay is knowingly stopped, like...
Speaking of a dropship, we do actually have one coming down into the main base of dtay at the right-hand corner, really effectively dropping them one at a time, stimming them as they get released. We do have, like, a whole bunch of Marines there, so they were mainly there, the drop was mainly there for probes. It looks like there's a couple of Stalkers being warped in. Those Marines and Marauders are going to make short work of those Stalkers. Probes being pulled now to try and do damage to the existing army, but with that medivac there, they're going to be able to punish these probes. Economy taking a massive hit. We're now seeing dtay's probes drop down to 23 as opposed to 44 SCVs for Munkey. One Marauder just being an absolute hero, taking down like 4 or 5 probes. He's got 9 kills now, so he's killed a couple of Stalkers. He's about to add another one to his tally. Massive main army now coming from dtay to try and finish off this drop, but Munkey quite cheekily picks up that hero marauder with 9 kills and tries to flee, but unfortunately he's rallied the medivac, which does go down to Stalker and Sentry Fire.
Yeah, and just while you were saying that, I was just swapping back and forth in the camera view that Munkey was actually trying to do a frontal attack at the same time, and dtay couldn't decide where he wanted to go. So it really threw him there. Some nice control by Munkey with the multitasking. I like the fact. It looks like he's going in now, as we do have another stem going straight in. dtay doing the same as he was before, trying to buy as much time, waste as much stem as possible. Force fields him out. I don't think I think he realizes he can't defeat this army straight up, but he is going to try and waste as much medivac energy as possible, warping more units in, and looks like he's going to go for it now. We are having about 54 supply to 120. I don't think he's going to be able to handle this. There's great force fields going everywhere. There's just too many units for dtay to deal with. Oh my god.
Really effective force fields there. I like the fact that he actually cut off half of the army there. Like all those Marines, which are the ones that do the most amount of DPS to this kind of army, especially with those immortals in the mix, really cutting them off, managing to strafe away, buying us up a bit more time. We've got 4 gates now, warping into a whole bunch of zealots, which we really need a little bit earlier. Pulling pros once again. dtay's economy takes a massive hit, and he knows it, so he calls GG.
Yeah, nicely done. It was really that multitasking drop that won it there for Munkey. I was quite impressed with that. So